Big Hard Books and Classics. Hello, hello. Light in August. We're up to chapter 10 now, zooming through. Page 207. Knowing not grieving remembers 1,000 savage and lonely streets. Streets are symbolic in Faulkner, especially in Light in August. Streets symbolize freedom, civilization, growth, rebuilding, hope. Hope is not lost in the South. I'm not going to go there. I love the South. I have relatives there. Didn't grow up there, but spent time there recently in the Bible Belt within the last 5 years. Spent a year down there. Loved it. Great food. Great poetic. This is where Faulkner scholars like myself, I consider myself one humble Faulkner scholar, but just starting on page 207, count how there's at least two, three times where he goes Bobby's. Bobby is the character's name, the prostitute, in chapter 9 that Joe Christmas is trying to woo, because he's such a dumb fuck, uh, so naive. But Bobby's is spelled like Bobby's, as if I guess you'd spell it in England like an English Bobby, uh, cop, Bobbies, Bobbies. But here, when his Faulkner's spelling it, uh, it should be a person's name, capital Bobbiie apostrophe S, Bobbies. Uh, does it several times in this chapter in itals. Page 208, got to highlight this again, the other F word in the book. It's another Bobby's too. I'll read this. It's Bobby's. It ain't yours, neither unless, sweet Jesus, you're going to tell me he owes you jack too? That he has been effing you too behind my back on credit? I said leave it go. Chase yourself, it ain't that. But $5 or $6 a piece from the top of her stocking, a flat folded sheaf of banknotes, and removed one and stopped and thrust it into the fob pocket of his trousers. Then she was gone. And then a string of more italics. I could read on forever. I mean, it's great. Chapter 10 is great. Sweet Jesus. I reckon I better get out of here. I reckon I better get out of here. He drank it slowly, not feeling the fire at all, holding himself upright by holding to the barrel. The whiskey went down his throat, cold as molasses, without taste. He set the empty bottle down and leaned on the bureau, his head lowered, not thinking, waiting perhaps without knowing it, perhaps not even waiting. Then the whiskey began to burn in him, and he began to shake his head slowly from side to side, while thinking became one with the slow, hot coiling and recoiling in his intervals. I got to get out of here. He re-entered the hall. Now it was his head that was clear, and his body that would not behave. Four-line poem on page 215. Say I didn't. Didn't dote who? What dat yallin' girls? Puddin' don't hide. Does Christmas fall into a bush here? Lying in a tangle of shrubbery 100 yards from the house, Christmas heard a far clock strike 9 and then 10. I have a note here. Been there in Phoenix, Arizona one time. Oh, after a party. This is in grad school. I lived in Tempe and rode a bicycle. It's a very bicycle place, even back in the late 90s. There's a place called the Firehouse, a big steakhouse and beer hall. They had Guinness there. Like, we get pints of, or not, well, pints of course, but we get pitchers of Guinness. Um, but Oh, just eating there, filet mignons. But one time I fell into a cactus on my bike. Oh, it was horrible on my legs. I had to pick it out with um, masking tape, Gorilla Tape. So we're on page 215. I think Christmas falls into a shrub or whatnot, and we're almost to 11. Let's keep plowing through. 219. I would note back to the beginning. In this novel, spoiler alert, the end is in the beginning. Believe it or not, we do get back to Lena Grove and Byron Bunch in the end. Chapter 11, page 219. With Alan Mahan.